Some management games look relaxing, while others can completely consume your free time. From building cities to running farms, empires, and factories, there is a lot to choose from. I'm Alice, and we're breaking down the games worth playing right now. Let's dive in. Game 1, City Skylines II, puts you in charge of a growing city, where every road, district, and budget choice can snowball fast. The scale is impressive, especially when traffic, services, and neighborhoods start colliding. I love how small planning mistakes can turn into huge problems later. If you're enjoying this countdown, hit like, subscribe, and comment your favorite game so far. The systems are deep without losing that satisfying build and watch feeling. It is still one of the strongest modern city management picks for PS5 players. The traffic simulation, zoning tools, and evolving districts give you plenty of reasons to keep experimenting, especially when you want a management game that feels alive. Game 2, Frostpunk 2, turns management into a fight for survival. You are not simply building streets and housing, you are balancing laws, factions, resources, and desperate citizens inside a frozen world. Every decision carries a cost, and the atmosphere keeps the pressure high. I really like how the game makes leadership feel uncomfortable in a good way. The city can look organized one minute and completely fragile the next. For strategy fans, this is a seriously gripping management experience. Game 3, Jurassic World Evolution 3, delivers the fantasy of running a dinosaur park without making the job feel simple. You manage attractions, staff, finances, research, and dangerous creatures while trying to keep visitors happy. The dinosaurs are the obvious stars, but the management systems give the game its staying power. I especially enjoy watching a park slowly evolve from empty land into a busy attraction. It feels polished, accessible, and easy to recommend when you want management with big presentation. Game 4, 2 Point Museum, takes the classic management formula somewhere wonderfully weird. You build exhibits, organize staff, attract visitors, and turn strange discoveries into a successful museum. The humor keeps things light, while the systems give you plenty to think about. I like how each room can become its own little project, from layout to visitor flow. It is less stressful than some hardcore strategy games, but still rewarding when everything starts working together. For PS5, it is fun. Game 5, Planet Zoo, focuses on detail, creativity, and the everyday business of running a modern zoo. You design habitats, care for animals, manage guests, hire staff, and keep the finances healthy. The animals look fantastic, but the real satisfaction comes from seeing a well-planned zoo operate smoothly. I can lose a lot of time just adjusting paths and habitats. It is relaxing when you want creativity, yet deep enough to keep strategy-minded players busy for dozens of hours nicely. Game 6, 2 Point Campus, gives management a playful college twist. You build campuses, place facilities, hire staff, and keep students happy while chasing better grades and bigger profits. The cartoon style makes everything approachable, but there is still plenty of planning underneath. I like how quickly a simple campus can become a messy puzzle of rooms, queues, and student needs. It is a great choice for players who want management mechanics without the heavier tone of survival or grand strategy. Game 7, Farming Simulator 25, slows everything down and lets you build a working farm from the ground up. Crops, animals, machines, production chains, and finances all become part of your routine. The scale is surprisingly deep, especially once you start expanding equipment and planning longer-term income. I enjoy the calm rhythm, because not every management game needs constant emergencies. For PS5 players who like simulation, customization, and long sessions where progress. Game 7, Farming Simulator 25, slows everything down and lets you build a working farm from the ground up. Crops, animals, machines, production chains, and finances all become part of your routine. The scale is surprisingly deep, especially once you start expanding equipment and planning longer-term income. I enjoy the calm rhythm, because not every management game needs constant emergencies. For PS5 players who like simulation, customization, and long sessions where progress feels earned, this one is hard to ignore. Game 8, Anno 1800, is all about building an empire that actually feels alive. You create cities, balance production chains, manage trade, explore new regions, and keep different populations satisfied.
The deeper you go, the more interconnected everything becomes. I love that feeling when one tiny shortage suddenly forces you to rethink an entire supply network. It can be demanding, but the payoff is huge when your economy finally clicks. This is management for players who enjoy complexity, planning, and beautiful. Game 9, Tropico 6, lets you run an island while juggling politics, money, citizens, tourism, and your own questionable leadership choices. You can build a thriving paradise or create a chaotic dictatorship, depending on how you play. The humor makes the management easier to approach, while the systems still reward smart planning. I always enjoy the freedom to solve problems in strange ways. If you want a management game with personality, strategy, and plenty of room for experimentation, Tropico 6. Game 10, Civilization VII blends empire management with turn-based strategy, making every decision feel like part of a much bigger story. You guide a civilization through changing eras, develop cities, manage resources, negotiate, research technologies, and compete for different paths to victory. I like how one peaceful plan can suddenly become a diplomatic crisis. The learning curve can be real, but once the systems click, it becomes incredibly satisfying. For PS5 strategy fans, this is one of the biggest management-style experiences. Game 11, Stellaris Console Edition, gives you an entire galaxy to manage, and the scope can be ridiculous in the best way. You control planets, populations, fleets, research, diplomacy, resources, and political choices while your empire keeps expanding. Every campaign can develop into something completely different. I enjoy the freedom because there's rarely one obvious answer. It takes patience, especially at first, but the depth is rewarding. If you want grand strategy with serious management systems, Stellaris deserves a spot. Game 12, Planet Coaster 2, puts management inside a colorful amusement park sandbox. You design rides, paths, shops, pools, scenery, and guest areas while keeping visitors entertained and the business profitable. The creative side is a huge part of the appeal, but finances and park flow still matter. I like how a tiny layout decision can change the whole experience for guests. It is especially good for players who enjoy building visually impressive spaces while still having enough management pressure to stay interesting. Game 13, House Flipper 2, takes management into a much smaller, more personal space. Instead of running a giant company, you renovate properties, complete jobs, improve your skills, and decide how much effort to put into each project. Cleaning and decorating can be surprisingly satisfying, especially when a rough room becomes something polished. I like the relaxed pace because it gives you time to think. It is a great PS5 option when you want simulation, progression, creativity, and management without pressure. Game 14, Crusader Kings III turns management into a personal power struggle. You control a dynasty, handle relationships, manage territory, raise armies, make alliances, and deal with secrets that can destroy everything. The characters and unpredictable events create stories you never planned. I love how losing can sometimes be more memorable than winning. It takes time to understand, but the depth is incredible once the systems make sense. For players who enjoy strategy, politics, and long-term decision-making, this feels special. Game 15, Factorio, is pure systems management at its most addictive. You start with basic resources, then build machines, automate production, create logistics networks, and keep expanding your factory. Before long, one small production problem can affect everything else. I love that every improvement creates a new problem to solve. The presentation is simple, but the depth is enormous. If you enjoy optimization, automation, and watching complicated systems run smoothly, Factorio can easily consume an entire weekend before you notice. Game 16, Satisfactory, gives factory management a first-person twist and makes every production line feel physical. You gather resources, build machines, connect conveyors, explore the world, and gradually create enormous automated factories. The scale can become ridiculous, especially when your early setup starts looking tiny later. I really enjoy the hands-on feeling of building everything myself. It is a strong pick for players who want management and automation with exploration, gorgeous environments, and the freedom to design their own industrial. Game 17, RimWorld creates management stories through survival, personality, and chaos. You guide a small colony, build shelters, manage food, research technology, assign jobs, and deal with whatever disaster the game throws at you. Colonists have moods, relationships, and quirks, so every settlement develops its own identity. I love how unpredictable it can be. One minute you are calmly planning a bedroom, and the next you are dealing with a crisis. It is deep, funny, brutal, and endlessly replayable again. Game 18, Against the Storm. Game 18, Against the Storm, mixes city building with roguelite progression, giving each settlement a fresh challenge. You manage different species, resources, production chains, and demanding objectives while surviving harsh weather. When one settlement succeeds, you carry progress into the larger campaign instead of simply starting over. I like that structure because it keeps the management loop moving. It feels strategic without becoming endless. For players who want shorter, more focused city building sessions, this is one of the smartest options. Game 19, Dwarf Fortress, is famous for its depth, but that reputation comes from genuine complexity. You manage a fortress, assign jobs, build infrastructure, handle resources, and watch an entire simulated world create unexpected problems. The learning curve is steep, yet the stories can be incredible. I enjoy the feeling that the game is constantly generating something you could never script yourself. It is not the easiest recommendation here, but for serious management fans, the sheer depth makes it unforgettable. Game 20, Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, focuses on detailed economic and industrial planning. You build cities, manage workers, create supply chains, handle transportation, and keep production moving across a large system. The game rewards patience and careful planning more than quick decisions. I like how grounded the simulation feels, especially when logistics become the real challenge. It can look intimidating at first, but players who enjoy complex city builders will find a lot to love once the systems start. Game 21, PowerWash Simulator, turns management into something far more relaxing. You take cleaning jobs, earn money, upgrade equipment, and work through increasingly satisfying projects while watching dirty surfaces become spotless. It is not about running a company, but it scratches that same progression and optimization itch. I love the simple feedback of seeing grime disappear section by section. The PS5 version also feels great with a controller. For chill players, this is an easy game to pick up after work. Game 22, Schedule I, mixes business management with an open-ended criminal sandbox, giving the usual tycoon formula a much rougher edge. You build operations, manage workers, expand properties, handle production, and try to keep the whole network profitable. The systems encourage experimentation, while the world adds plenty of trouble around you. I like how quickly the operation grows from something tiny into a complicated business. It is not a traditional management game, but the progression loop is undeniably addictive overall. Game 23, Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, puts you behind the counter of a growing workshop. You diagnose problems, remove parts, repair engines, buy vehicles, upgrade equipment, and turn neglected cars into valuable projects. The hands-on approach makes every job feel different, even when the routine becomes familiar. I like the satisfaction of finding a problem and slowly bringing a broken vehicle back to life. It is a great fit for players who prefer practical management, customization, and steady progression over city building. Game 25, Railway Empire 2, closes the list with a classic management challenge built around trains, routes, industries, and growing cities. You plan rail networks, invest in infrastructure, manage businesses, and keep your transportation system profitable. The map slowly transforms as your railway expands, which gives progression a nice visual payoff. I like watching a messy collection of tracks become a working network. It is a great final pick for players who enjoy logistics, economic strategy, and long-term planning on.